Hello, everyone. Since you have chosen a path of becoming a startup founder, and as a founder, definitely you have to go through various challenges and you have to take up various funds, various risks as a founder. Starting a startup is never an easy task, and it is not that much difficult, also. But the way people think that for the namesake they will become CEOs, they will become founders, that is not the right case. Whether you are doing something, not doing something, contributing, not contributing, getting increments in a job totally depends on your performance, your relations. But as far as startup is concerned, here you are not going to get any increments. Okay, it's all about how you are building a process, how you are setting up your processes, and then taking up those processes for getting customers, getting revenue. Okay, because even if you get customers but you don't collect revenue or don't collect payment from them, there is a challenge. So in a startup, whether it's a marketing function, sales function, operations, HR, or management strategy, compliance, all these things have to go hand in hand. Because when you are working somewhere, you are doing a specific task or specific project or maybe specific function. But here in the initial phase, you may need to do all the functions. You need to set up processes for all the functions of your organization, and in initial phase you may need to perform everything yourself. Later on, definitely you can leverage through support of your assistants, your interns, or paid staff. But in the initial phase, you have to do all of the things. That's why there are a lot of challenges, and at the same time, you are taking a risk. In case you are a college student, you are taking a risk of not going for a job. In case you are already working somewhere, planning to start something of your own, you may take a risk of leaving a paid job and starting something of your own. Okay, so at every stage there is a risk whenever you are starting a startup. If I tell you about my personal journey, I was working as a senior product manager with EY India, and I left a high paying job back in 2019. And I can't tell you that when I was leaving that job, okay, I was a consultant there, I was senior manager by designation. So at that point in time, I never thought that things will be that much difficult, because when I left EY, our monthly revenue was approximately 25,000 to 30,000, and my salary was almost 10 to 12 times of this amount. Okay, so now you can easily imagine that how I would have survived for the initial phase. But since I have planned well, and with the grace of God, see, luck also is required. Okay, that's why there is a risk. If you have heard about the story of Microsoft founder, okay, so he has told that he had a friend during his school days who was much better than him, and they both have planned to start it. But the problem was that particular friend went for mountaineering and he died in such young age. He died, and you know Bill Gates, right? This is a story of Bill Gates. You can read it on Google. You will get to know. And he has clearly mentioned that definitely we have to do things in right direction and we have to plan things, but the luck factor is also really important. Okay, don't get demotivated with this particular point, but definitely luck matters. And if you are lucky enough, you are hardworking. I believe in this thing that if you are hardworking, you are following the process, luck will follow you. But if you have to get extremely popular, okay, in that case definitely luck plays a role. Okay, now common challenges that are faced by a startup, like you have limited resources in the initial phase. Like I was also facing the same issue, because I was a like my wife was only along with me in this startup, so we didn't have any team at that point in time when we started. And it was really difficult to get initial hires, because people see, they judge you. Okay, they don't know that why you have started, who are you not. Okay, even if you are a qualified professional, you have experience, still people judge you. Okay, so that is a problem. So in limited resources may, like, people will be judging you, employees will not come, client will also be judging who you are serving, what is your background. They resign from my full-time paid job, and then we, like, all in all, we went into it and then we did it like anything. And in last 5 years we have paced up and we have built it up really well. Almost like 8,000 startups we have served in last 5 years. So you can imagine that how we would have done it, है ना? There are lots of efforts involved, and I'm not saying that everything I have done. Yes, I am the important part of this organization, but other people are really important for us. They have also contributed in this. Okay, so this is your approach. You need to, like, embrace, you need to have empathy to others as well. Okay, so you can, like, easily imagine, see, 2019 full-fledged we started. 20 COVID came. Okay, COVID may people business got closed, but our business got a boost. There was a scheme launched by the government, and through that scheme we got the initial clients. And it was CFSS scheme, where a non-compliant startup can complete their compliance without any penalties. Okay, so I saw that as an opportunity with the grace of God, and then we started working on it, and we got a lot of boost in that year. Many of our clients are still from that year with us, okay, because we have a very good retention ratio. Almost 90% of our clients are continuing with us from last 5 years. Some clients are there from 2014 2015 when I started, some LLPs, some companies. Okay, so you can imagine that how the journey would have been. Okay, I'm just giving you some examples of mine so that you can relate things. Okay, importance of risk strategies. See, importance of risk management strategy, how it is important, because see, risk is definitely there, luck factor is also there, but you have to see this thing that if you are a bit proactive, if you are a proactive person, definitely you can mitigate some of the risk with proper planning. And you have to be very adaptable to this thing also, that you have to respond to a risk, because there is always a flip side. If we see things from negative perspective only, then it will create negative perception in our mind, and we will not see the opportunity in that. Same COVID, we saw it as an opportunity. Same COVID, other professionals saw it as a thing that businesses are not running. Okay, so the ones who are totally dependent on one kind of a client, who is say GST practitioner, okay, they, some of them vanished from the market, while the one who saw this as an opportunity like us, we thrived. So it totally depends on how you perceive something that is coming to you. Okay, then comes the insurance and legal protection. See, insurance and legal protection is also a very important part. I have discussed this in some previous video. I can't remember exactly which part, but I'll tell you the example. If operation team does any mistake during the work, and client gets any notice, or clients get any problem due to that, in that case what happens, you can protect yourself through indemnity insurance. Similarly, if you are say storing some products which are highly flammable, in that case what will happen, you will do a fire insurance. Okay, you can do your stock insurance. So always have these insurances, always have these indemnity insurances with you to protect yourself. Similarly, KMP insurance for the directors of the company, in case something happens to the director, the company should not suffer, employee should not suffer in that case. Okay, so these kind of insurance, etc., you should have. Then comes developing contingency plans for potential setbacks. Always have scenario planning. I discussed this previously also, that always have a best scenario, medium scenario, and a worst scenario. Okay, best, normal or medium, and worst. Always plan for the worst, so that even if best or normal thing happen, it is fine, because best happen, it is good for you. But if worst happen, because I always plan for worst scenario, at least whatever I am spending during a month, I should be able to have X amount above that. Okay, if I get anything beyond that, that is my bonus. Okay, so that is how you can even plan. Okay, so you have to create your marketing plan, sales plan on short term basis. Also, you can do it weekly basis, fortnightly basis, monthly basis. Have short term targets. Eventually you will start getting long run this thing. And I'm not saying that you have to always think in a short term duration only. Have long term plan of 3 to 5 years, work towards it, but have some patience. Okay, but at the same time, as I mentioned initially, now also I'm mentioning, profitability you have to see from the day one itself. If you are not profitable, then definitely it is much riskier proposition. I am making you a startup. At the same time, I'm not telling you that you take big risk. If you take big risk, definitely there are big rewards. Okay, but my perception or my understanding is this, that even to take big risk, first you have to learn that how a risk has to be taken. First start taking some small risk, eventually you will get confident, then you will be in a position to take big risk also. Okay, and once you start learning that how to take risk, you will definitely take any kind of a risk. That is a simple thing, I would say. Okay, then comes resource allocation, stakeholder communication. So you always have to communicate everything properly to everyone. Suppose as a startup you're not performing well, you have to timely report this to your employees, that you will not be able to give them bonuses, or if layoffs have to be done. All transparent communication should be there with all your stakeholders, whether investors, whether employees, whether customers. so that everyone is in line with what your thought process. Okay, no one should get a shock, because yeah, that will spoil your brand image. Okay, then comes fostering a culture of resilience and adaptability. So this is something you have to make sure, that you have to foster a culture of resilience and adaptability. Okay, failures are always a stepping stone towards success. Okay, like you have to, like, failure is a step which helps you to reach to success. If you are failed in something, if you are a failed entrepreneur and listening to this video, see, I have also failed many times. Okay, it's not that I am successful in everything. I may have failed 200 times in last almost 10 years since I have started it as a side hustle. That's why it took me 6 years to start it full fledged. Okay, I failed due to my own perceptions, I failed due to my disbeliefs. Sometimes I failed due to maybe, like, I was not getting remunerated well from the client for which I was working. So the failures can be due to any of the reasons. Okay, so you have to think in this direction, that as a founder, if you can accept failures and move towards the positive side of it, that will be a game changing thing for you. Then comes the continuous improvement thing. So you have to continuously improve. Okay, how you have to improve? So you have to empower your employees to identify and implement process improvements. How it can be done? You can create standard operating procedures, you can document the processes for everything that you do in the organization, put it on a training portal. Okay, how it will help in such situations when, say, all your old employees have left the organization, new people have joined you. Okay, at least your processes are in your control, new people can easily refer it and do the particular task. Okay, this is something you have to do, and you have to be very adaptable to the market, because if you have to be a resilient founder, okay, you have to see what is happening in the market. Accordingly, you have to embed, like, suppose AI is impacting your particular domain, you need to learn AI, how you can implement AI in your organization, how you can automate your daily day-to-day processes. Okay, then you have to do collaboration with right partners, which is must. And now, don't think that everything you will do yourself. If you have this mindset, then it will be a problem. You have to collaborate with people. I'll tell you, see, I also, because of this thought process, that I will do everything internally with the help of my team. But in some cases, it is always better, rather than setting up your own team, leverage vendors. Okay, have NDAs with them, leverage them, and take their services and give that service to the client with your own name. Okay, so that is something called drop servicing or drop shipping model also, but do it. Okay, I'm not saying to be totally 100% dependent upon others, but if you want to increase your, like, offerings, okay, you can always go for a white label offering. If you are a software provider, you can always go for a service in your name, use service from a vendor, tell the client that this person belongs to your team, have NDA with that person, create an email ID for that vendor with your domain name. Who is stopping you? And so you have to think innovatively and do the things. Okay, now comes that how you can overcome your fears, what strategies you have to build. Okay, so you have to take calculated risk. As I am in this favor only, that's why I've written this. I'll say, you know that there is a risk in doing business. Okay, so there are two options. One option is that you are taking calculated risk. Second option is you are taking risk without thinking about anything. Okay, in the second option, chances of growth are very high, but chances of failure are also very high. But in the first option, when you are taking calculated risk, so your worst case scenario you have already evaluated. Ki this is the worst that can happen with me. Accordingly, you are taking your risk. Now, if worst happens, you already had the estimate of that, so you will not get into a shock. Depression में नहीं जाओगे. But if you go with the second approach of having unlimited risk without any evaluation, then it will be a problem. Okay, so always have calculated risk. Hope now you are clear what I am trying to say. Then comes developing a resilient mindset. See, resilient mindset, we all have resilient mindset. It is written as develop, but see how it gets developed. It develops based on taking failure as a learning. If you don't take failure as a learning, it will be a problem for you. Okay, then comes leverage support networks. Now, support networks are what? Like, you always can reach out to me. You can always reach out to some other founder who is senior than you, who is 2 3 years ahead of you in the same domain, same industry. If you're not able to reach to them, you can at least reach out to me. I'm always there with you. Okay, I will always help you. Okay, so don't think that people are selfish, people don't help. People are always ready to help you. You need to know how you need to ask. है ना? Be graceful. है ना? Give respect to others. People are always there to help you. है ना? Give respect. ask, think politely. That is how you have to learn. I will discuss that part also with you in the last session, and that is the most important one for you. Okay, then you have to continuously learn and improve as a founder. That that is non-negotiable, because if you don't learn and improve yourself, definitely you are out of the market. So as an individual also, you have to work on yourself. As a team also, you have to train your team. Everything has to be in line. Then leveraging resources and support, mentorship programs, you can definitely, it's not that the journey is stopping here. This is just a basic initial course that we are into, and I am telling you some basic stuff. But there are lots and lots of advanced things and lots of discussions still we can do in our live sessions that we are going to have. Okay, as well as in the entrepreneurial communities, you just enroll yourself. Okay, I'm not saying to ki har hafte you have to, every week you have to go in some community event and waste your time. No, but entrepreneurial community, like you can register yourself in Startup India. Okay, you can register yourself in some local in your city, any startup incubation center is there, you can go there, visit there, tell them about your startup. If nothing is there, set up a community. I will help you how to set up. We both will work together to set up a community. What is the harm? You will get benefit, I will get benefit, other person will also get benefit. It's a mutual benefit for each one of us. Okay, and always look for the accelerator and incubator programs. Again, I'm saying incubators and incubation center is not there in your college, incubation center is not there in your city. What you will do, we can work together with some college, some university, and we can help them in setting up the incubation center. Who is stopping us? Okay, so means you have to need to have some guts also, and ultimately in long run things will help you. If you set up an incubation center, you need interns from that particular university or college. Will they not give you? Okay, so there is always a benefit of working with this approach. Okay, then comes the embracing a growth mindset in entrepreneurship. See, we have discussed all these things in all our last 12, 13 videos, all the 13 sessions that we have. You have to continuously learn. Okay, you have to seek feedback about yourself as a person. Okay, about your company, about your product. Okay, always have mentors, always take feedback from team members also. Don't have egos, I'll tell you. See, if you are compromising your self-respect, that you should never do. Okay, if client unnecessarily scolding you, don't say anything at that time, be quiet. Ultimately that person will realize that you are a gentleman. Okay, don't shout with anyone. I'm telling you this as a lesson. See, if anyone, any of your client or any other third person is shouting on you, and you also start shouting on them, will it, like how it will, how you will feel bad, that person will also feel bad. But if you stop and you pause, just pause there, just be quiet, listen to them. Okay, thank you, I'll get back to you. That's all. That is my policy. I used to shout earlier, now I don't do that. There is no benefit in that. Try to tell them the real facts. If they are not convinced, if they don't agree to you, it's okay. Okay, let them move on. Let them find some other better person than you, and let you focus on some other better client. Okay, have adaptability to changes that are happening in the market, and you need to be very perseverance. You need to keep very, you need to be very perseverant. Okay, you have to maintain unwavering determination in the face of challenges and setbacks. Phases will come in your life where you would not even have imagined that how much money will flow to you, but there will be phases which are tough phases. So this is like a zigzag journey. Okay, it's not a smooth J curve growth or linear growth. Okay, it's a zigzag journey. Ups and downs will come. Okay, business grows, stabilizes, declines, then grows, then stabilizes, then decline. It's a cycle that happens, and it's not with you, it will be with everyone. And that is the beauty of this particular thing. Okay, lessons learned from successful entrepreneurs. See, there are many entrepreneurs that you will find who have, now people have made it a fashion of sharing their failures. Okay, rather than successes, people share their failures more to get more views. Like कुछ तो फर्जी भी होते हैं. But to be on a serious note, there are many founders when they started, on the day when they didn't become successful. Ambani, Mr. Dhirubhai Ambani, on the day when he was not very successful. Okay, but he continuously took risks, and some of his risk paid off more than many of his failures. That's why he became Dhirubhai Ambani. That's why Reliance became Reliance. Okay, so you also need to see, let's see, you, if you do 10 things, one out of that 10 thing works, that will take you 200. Okay, if you do 100 things, out of that say 2 things worked, that will take you to 1,000. So okay, you're getting it now. See, you have to take risk. You have to continuously be in the game. It's important to be in the game than to be out of the game. Just keep that in mind. Okay, that is what is even written in this slide. Okay, you have to embrace the uncertainties. You have to focus. Core focus should be on customer value. Whatever money you are taking from a customer, always give value more than that. है ना? You have to build a resilient team. I'm not talking about only you. Your team should also be resilient. The habit of listening to client, the habit of not shouting back to client should be imbibed in them also. They should be your replica in terms of client handling, not in terms of work. They should supplement your skills, okay, or they should complement your skills. And like you are good in sales, some other person should be good in marketing, some other person should be good in operation, someone else should be good in, okay. And you have to embrace the failures as opportunity and you can grow. I have already told you the example of Mr. Dhirubhai Ambani and Reliance. Okay, so navigating regulatory and legal considerations, we had a proper session on this. You can watch it again if you have not seen it. So all your compliances, licensing need to be in place. If you don't do it, definitely it's a risk for your business. IPR, like your trademark, copyright, or your secrets, should always be registered. Okay, you have to apply a trademark registration for your brand or logo. You have to apply for a copyright for your artwork, and for any process, design, system that you have created, you can go for the patent if it is patentable. Okay, then contractual agreements are to be drafted properly. As a founder, you have to check them properly. We have discussed this in length, है ना? We have discussed all these things at length in our legal and compliance session. Okay, so that's all for this particular section of navigating the challenges for the risk and assessment. Hope you understood that startup is not that much easy to do, but at the same time, if you take calculated risk, there are high chances that if you are resilient, you embrace failures, and you work in right direction, you have a perseverance, definitely you will grow. Thank you so much again. We will catch you in next video. Thank you.